Fellas, thank you for being here. I know that you played a sold-out show last night. I know that you have busy LA lives, so we appreciate you being here. Absolutely.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, man. No doubt about it.
And thank you guys for coming.
It's been a big year for the band. Like I said, you've been playing shows for the last year and a half since the last record came out. But there is a song called Sit Next to Me that popped up that kind of slowly and quietly became this massive song that has entered all of our lives. Were you surprised about the success of that one?
Yeah, it was. I mean, I know that like when we finished the song, I mean, collectively, I think we all felt like it was a special song, you know, and we felt like it was going to connect with people, but it's an interesting thing. I mean, it's funny because you can't really predict what's going to connect and what's not. It's really up to the people. You know, the people vote by what they like, and it's interesting because American radio, if you listen to the radio, and that's kind of the whole thing with like bands, record labels, management. Everybody's trying to figure out what's going to work. Everybody, the business side of the music. You know, the artistic side is the writing songs and just being expression and all this, and then everybody puts on a different hat and they're like, okay, what's gonna work? What's gonna be a single? What's gonna connect with people? And everybody has an opinion on it, and everybody's trying to chase the dragon. Everybody's trying to chase the zeitgeist. And I think radio has been really interesting the last like 4 or 5 years because it's been completely unpredictable.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
And there's been all sorts of things that pop up out of nowhere where you're like, that's never gonna work in a million years. Then it becomes a huge hit, and so nobody really knows what's going to work, and that's why I'm really happy that a song like this worked, because it's a left of center song, it's a ballad, it's a real song, it has guitars on it, which is, at Alternative it's not rare to hear guitars, but on Top 40 it is. Mm-hmm. To hear a band on Top 40, oh my God. It's incredible.
Yeah. A lot of times those songs that do connect in the way that you just described are, I don't want to say easy to write, but come very naturally and very quickly in the studio, as opposed to a song that you work for months and years tinkering this way and that. Was that the case with Sit Next to Me?
Yeah, it was, actually. Oddly enough, I wrote that. I started with this, Oliver Goldstein, a friend of mine who's a producer, just kind of, I jumped in with him and he kind of programmed a beat really quick, and then I picked up the bass and did that bass line, and then he put some chords down. I did that weird bass line, and then we kind of both bounced, just like, layered stuff on top of it, and then jumped in and sang. I think like the first vamp vocal, kind of the first freestyle, it started off as "It's over, it's over," and then "Come over here and sit next to me." Like the chorus came next, and then over the next couple of days we, figured out the verse and wrote the lyrics to the verse. Which, it's great when you don't really think about it too hard. And honestly, like one lesson that I've learned with recording, especially, is that if you can finish a song with lyrics while you're writing the song, if you can finish lyrics immediately and record the vocal, there's an electricity in that vocal take that you get. Other than which is really hard to do and rare to do, because I hate lyrics drive me crazy. It takes so long. Like I stress, or I will write a song 100 different ways, 100 different times until it feels right. And so sometimes it's like months and months down the line of living with the song, and then by the time I sing it, it doesn't have that tension of not knowing where I'm gonna go musically.
Yeah.
And so it's like singing it and trying to really capture that like moment of surprise. But Sit Next to Me because they were written so fast, I think it captured the humanity in the vocal on the recording. I'm really proud of that vocal. It's pretty much all just like one take.
It's funny to hear you say that about lyrics because you're good at it. It's weird.
It doesn't come natural. I mean, it's not like I'm a melodist. That's like, I feel like I sit down, I write melodies. I love melodies. I love picking up stuff and a vibe and whatever. And lyrics, I love poetry. But, I feel like, if a song is a house, a melody invites you through the front door. But if the lyrics are good, you'll sit on that couch. You'll sit on the couch forever. If the lyrics aren't good, you'll walk through. It's kind of like one of those gaudy, like, McMansions. that you walk into with no furniture on the walls. You're like, it's got this giant pool and there's nothing in it, and it's just like an event house, and you're like, okay, like there's not, it's like but like lyrics are kind of like the decor, you'll just sit in a room forever and be like, okay, this is like this, lyrics make a song timeless, and if the lyrics are bad, then the song's like a magazine that you throw away after a month. If the lyrics are good, it's like a novel that you can read over and over again.
Yeah, that's very, very true. Bands are lucky to have one song that connects on a certain level throughout their career, and you have had multiple songs that connect. As you keep running into these songs that are connecting with people on this level, and this is a question for all the guys, is it different? Do you appreciate it in a different way? Do you approach it in a different way, or what? Yeah, sure.
Well, no, I think we love all our songs. I mean, every single one that we make, we put 100% of our passion into it. So when there's one that might connect more than another, like it's a really special thing. And it's really, once you release it, it's funny, like anytime we're working on a record, while we're making it, and we're always kind of bouncing rough mixes and putting it in our cars and listening to everything as we're working on it, working out kinks, and it's your baby. It's kind of this precious thing that only you know about, and then as soon as you release it, it becomes the world's. So it really, songs like that just become the people's.
Absolutely, no doubt about it. A very cool thing happened at the Life is Beautiful Festival this past weekend, where you guys performed, and I'm going to pronounce it wrong, the Cirque du Soleil, Beatles cast. You covered Hey Jude. How did that come together, and did it work out the way that you'd hoped it would in your mind leading up to it?
I still haven't watched it.
It's on Instagram.
I was there. But I guess during the Torches era, when we were doing our big kind of like the last tour of Torches, when that record really started to take off, and we were doing like amphitheaters, playing 10, 15,000 cap shows at the end, we wanted to do like a big production and have like a lot of different things and bring in the theatrics to kind of, and the characters, like if you remember that album cover, all these different characters, and I feel like the characters were kind of woven throughout the audio of that song, the laughter and the weird talking and all the kind of that like kind of weird kind of where the wild things are vibe. And so I had just seen Love, the Beatles, Love, Cirque du Soleil, Love show, and contacted them because it was the most beautiful thing I'd ever seen, and just so creative, and it just blew my mind. And so I was like, who directed that? I wanted to get in touch with the creative director to see if they would do like a stage show for our Torches tour, because I felt like it was kind of a similar spirit of what we wanted to do. And the relationship started. We didn't end up doing something with them then, but I ended up becoming friends with a guy that's like the North American Cirque director for Cirque, and Lou D'Angeli, and we've just been friends since. He comes to our shows in Vegas, and he lives there and runs all the Cirque stuff there. So about a few months ago, he contacted us and was like, "Hey, we've been talking about doing something with you guys for a while, and why don't we do something at Life is Beautiful?" Just like, done. That'd be amazing. Let's, what do you want to do? So we just kind of went back and forth and figured it out, and I gave him a couple Beatles. Like, we were going to come up and do something with one of our songs, and we are going to go into a Beatles thing, and they were going to do their thing. And so we picked a few of our favorite Beatles tracks that we would cover, and kind of all collectively decided on Hey Jude.
Well, clearly the idea was a great one, and the execution, at least from my standpoint, my guess is their standpoint, was a winner as well. How'd you feel about it?
I still haven't watched it.
Okay, fair enough. Fellas, thank you for being here. Again, when a band like yours comes and plays a place like this for us, it's a big deal for us, so we appreciate it so much. Let's hear it one more time for Foster the People. Live in the AT&T Sound Studio.